All right, so today we've been tackling this story that's kind of blowing up right now. It's all about skilled immigration, and we're seeing this really surprising clash right in the heart of Trump's inner circle. So we're looking at two articles today, both from December 27th, 2024. One from Fox News, the other from NBC News. And they both kind of highlight this rift between Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and some of these big names in the MAGA movement. So both Musk and Ramaswamy, they've been tapped to lead this new department, Trump's new Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE as they're calling it. But their stance on skilled immigration has really just ignited this firestorm. And even Steve Bannon's war room is calling for like a showdown, specifically on H-1B visas. So Musk and Ramaswamy are both advocating for increasing these H-1B visas. And you think these visas, they allow U.S. companies to hire workers from other countries for those really specialized jobs. And it's been this point of contention for a long time in immigration debates. But what's so interesting here is that Musk and Ramaswamy, they're often celebrated by conservatives
for their opposition to woke culture and all that. But now they're getting pushback from the MAGA on this very issue. It's really kind of fascinating. So the Fox News article highlights Musk's desire to double, that's in quotes, double the number of engineers in the United States. He says it's the fundamental limiting factor. Again, that's a quote, fundamental limiting factor in Silicon Valley. And he even compares it to like building a sports team, saying you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be. So then you have Ramaswamy, and his parents immigrated from India. And he's arguing that American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence. And that's a direct quote there, implying that we need this like cultural shift to really cultivate like top tier engineering talent in the U.S. And this is sparking some strong reactions from some big names in the MAGA world. Like Nikki Haley, for example. She says there's nothing wrong with American workers or American culture. We should be investing and prioritizing in Americans, not foreign workers. So you can see that, a very clear stance there. Then you have Matt Gaetz. He's weighing in as well.
He's saying, we welcomed the tech bros when they came running our way to avoid the third-grade teacher picking their kid's gender. We did not ask them to engineer an immigration policy. So he's kind of, tying it back to that whole woke culture debate. But then you have probably the most inflammatory response coming from Laura Loomer. And she states that our country was built by white Europeans, actually, not third world invaders from India. It's not racist against Indians to want the original MAGA policies I voted for. I voted for a reduction in H-1B visas, not an extension. So she's very clearly expressing her views there. And she goes on to claim that she was demonetized and de-verified on X. That's Musk's platform because of her stance on this, accusing him of censorship. But Musk is saying, no, it's just the algorithm, and he's basically saying to just ignore her. So, this whole clash within Trump's circle, it's really interesting because it exposes these tensions, within his coalition. On one hand, you have Musk and Ramaswamy. And they're often seen as these disruptors, these innovators.
And they're aligning with Trump on these issues like pushing back against woke culture and streamlining government bureaucracy and all that. But on the other hand, you have this MAGA base. And they're driven by this very populist America First agenda. And for a lot of them, any increase in immigration, even for these skilled workers, it's seen as this direct threat to American jobs and wages. It's not just about economics either. There's this cultural element to this whole clash, which is really evident in the language used by some of the figures we've mentioned, like Loomer's comment about white Europeans building America. It really underscores the fact that for some of Trump's supporters, immigration is about preserving a certain vision of American identity. So it's not just about jobs and the economy. It goes deeper than that. Now, to be fair to Trump, his stance on skilled immigration hasn't always been crystal clear. During his first term, he did restrict access to some of those foreign worker visas. But he's also made comments that suggest he might be open to expanding those opportunities for highly skilled immigrants. So this debate really highlights
this tightrope that he's going to have to walk as he tries to balance the interests of all these different factions within his coalition. And this isn't a new debate either. This whole tug of war over H-1B visas, it's been going on for decades in American politics. You have these tech executives, they're constantly lobbying for more visas, arguing that they need access to this global talent pool if they want to stay competitive. And then you have labor unions and some conservative groups who are pushing back. They're concerned about the impact on American workers, or their wages, their job security. So it's this constant back and forth. So what does all this mean for the incoming Trump administration? Well, they're facing a real challenge here. They got to figure out how to navigate these competing interests within their own base. They need to find some way to satisfy the demands of the tech industry, which is this incredibly powerful economic force, while also addressing the concerns of the MAGA base, which is this crucial source of their political support. So it's a really tough spot to be in. And this whole issue goes beyond our borders, too.
This debate over skilled immigration is happening all over the world. You know, as the NBC News article points out, the Biden administration just announced this new regulation to modernize the H-1B program and basically make it easier for those foreign workers to come to the U.S. So that just adds another layer of complexity to this whole situation. And it really underscores this global competition for talent. So you can see the Trump administration is in a tough spot here, facing these demands from both sides of the immigration debate. You have those who want stricter restrictions, and then you have those who are pushing for greater openness. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But this clash within Trump's own circle, it really serves as this microcosm of this much larger conversation that's happening all over the world. It's a conversation about the role of immigration in a globalized economy, about finding that balance between national interests and the flow of global talent, and ultimately about what it means to be an American in the 21st century. And these are tough questions to answer, but they're questions we all need to think about
as we try to navigate this complex and ever-changing world. So in a world that's increasingly reliant on technology, what innovation is key. Can any nation afford to just close its doors to global talent? That's something to think about. If you want to dive deeper into all of this, I highly recommend checking out those full articles from Fox News and NBC News. They give you a lot of great information and context on this story that just keeps evolving. All right, that's it for our deep dive today. Hope you found it insightful. As always, keep asking those questions, stay curious, and until next time, keep diving deep. This whole thing really underscores the challenges facing not just Trump's administration, but the country as a whole. How do we balance this need for economic competitiveness and all this tech advancement with this concern about protecting American jobs and preserving that sense of national identity? It's tricky. There's no easy answer, but it's something we need to talk about. And it's a conversation that's not going away anytime soon. So think about this. In this world that's so interconnected, right, where tech is just booming, can any country really afford to isolate itself?
Can we really innovate and progress by just shutting our doors to the world's best and brightest? Or do we need a more open approach, maybe a more collaborative approach? These are the questions we need to think about as we move forward in this crazy world. It's complex, it's changing all the time. So that's it for our deep dive today. I hope this was insightful. And always keep asking those questions. Stay curious, and until next time, keep diving deep. The situation, it really kind of boils down to this central question. How do we balance, economic growth and technological progress? With those concerns about American jobs and preserving our national identity? It's a tough one, right? No easy answers there, but it's a conversation we got to have. And it's not going away anytime soon. So here's something to think about. In this increasingly interconnected world, with technology just exploding all around us, can any nation really afford to shut itself off? Can we truly innovate? Can we really make progress? If we close our doors to the brightest minds from all over the world? Or does real progress require something different? Maybe a more open approach, more collaboration, food for thought, right? As we move forward in this complex and constantly changing world. Well, that's it for our deep dives today. Hope you found this exploration insightful. Keep asking those questions, stay curious, and until next time, keep diving deep.